Welcome to Pearson Test of English, also known as PTE. This is the writing section, more specifically the essay writing section. Here we will be discussing how to write opinion-based essays. Now, one of the opinion-based essays that usually comes up is something that begins along the lines of I think, or do you think, or what do you think? So let us analyze how to do this type of essay. But first, let us look at the most important factors that determine how well you've written. This can be summed up in the criteria. The first criteria is content. For this, you have to make sure that whatever you write is relevant to the topic given. The highest marks that you can score for this is 3. The next criteria is form, which basically looks at the organization and the layout of the essay. You are allotted 2 marks for this. The next criteria is development, structure, and coherence. 3 components that are extremely important for you to address your topic in a very structured manner. This will enable the examiner to understand what you are trying to say, whether the words you are using and how you are connecting those words to bring out the meaning of the essay. Most importantly, this will determine what kind of message you are trying to portray. The next criteria is extremely important, that is grammar. This consists of everything from tenses to articles, prepositions, nouns, pronouns, adjectives, etc. Most importantly, you must make sure that your sentence structures are correct. You must use a combination of simple as well as complex sentences. The next criteria is general linguistic range. This basically checks the extent to which you can utilize language to properly express or put across the message your essay is trying to give. The next criteria is spelling. In essay writing, in fact in any kind of writing, spelling is extremely important. Incorrect spellings will definitely affect your overall score. You will definitely lose marks. Finally, vocabulary range. This determines the level at which you stand in terms of vocabulary. Your vocabulary could either be simple or it could be complex. But what is more important here is that the vocabulary should fit the kind of task or topic given to you. So except for content, all other criteria have got 2 marks each. So here is a description of the essay and the basic features. Firstly, you will notice that the length requirement is between 200 to 300 words. Remember that development, structure and coherence is extremely important, as this basically checks how you organize your ideas. You must precisely convey your ideas using correct grammar, vocabulary and spelling. Now, here are a few things that you must bear in mind when it comes to evaluation and the possibility of getting a 0 under certain conditions. So the essay is not evaluated and given a 0 right away if the response is totally irrelevant to the prompt. This basically means that you have not understood the topic and you have completely digressed from what was originally asked. The next point is the response is written in any language other than English. If you think that you can put in another language or there are certain words that are easier to write, whatever you write must be explained further, otherwise it will not be counted. The response is written in capital letters. You must use the sentence case while typing onto the screen. And finally, no response given. If you omit the entire essay, you will receive 0. Now let's look at the plan of the essay. First, brainstorming. This is the most important part of the essay. Any PTE trainer will tell you this. If you don't know what to write, then you will never understand how to go about doing it. So first and foremost, the moment you see your topic on screen, use your erasable notebook booklet, or if you're practicing, use a rough notebook to immediately start brainstorming. That basically means generating ideas. Pick out important words or keywords from the topic given, list them down, then see how you can give proper reasons or justification. Think of examples, identify other keywords if you feel that you are not getting enough to brainstorm. Next, structure the paragraphs. When you're structuring your paragraph, you must think which point you're going to start with, which point you're going to end with, what kind of examples you're going to use, because examples are a must. You must give at least one example for one reason or justification. Now the next important bit, write in paragraphs. You will be given 4 to 5 paragraphs. All of them are supposed to have individual ideas which are connected with the help of proper conjunctions and linking phrases. This will basically determine the coherence. Once you're done, make sure you are coherent. Do not go off topic. This is extremely important. If you go off topic, or if you start with one particular keyword or phrase and then you start only explaining about that without actually connecting that to the other ideas, you will lose out on your scores. The other thing is, don't give too many examples. Examples are separate. Reasons and justifications are separate. You don't combine the two. Most of the time, students put examples as a reason or justification without really elaborating much. It will not really give you a score. Again, the most important bit, do not repeat or rephrase any argument. The moment you do this, it basically means that you do not have enough content, you have not done your brainstorming properly, and there is nothing new about it. So you will lose out again on your development, coherence and structure of the essay. Is a sample of this essay type. Your instructions are given at the beginning. It says you will have 20 minutes to plan, write and revise an essay about a topic below. Your response will be judged on how well you develop a position, organize your ideas, present supporting details, and the standard elements of standard written English. You should write between 200 to 300 words. The sample topic is as follows. Social communication has undergone a great change because of technology. In what ways has technology made an impact on people's choices or approach towards relationships? Is this a good or a bad thing? Discuss your opinion. Now let's analyze further and look at how the paragraphs are structured and how you can put in all the key elements of this topic and elaborate upon it. So we have paragraph 1, which is your introduction. It consists of a paraphrase statement, also known as a background statement. Here, elements taken from the topic are presented or rephrased using synonyms. Following this, you've got a thesis statement and a transitional sentence. Now, since your topic is about technology and its advancements and what it has to do with people's relationships, use those keywords and rephrase them. For example, over here, the writer has written, technological advancements and options have a lot to do with people's choices on relationships. So, technological advancement is one of your keywords. So are the words people's choices and relationships. These are your key areas. Now let's look at the thesis statement. It is basically your point of view. It is ironic that despite this, people are missing out on communicating properly with each other, resulting in bad relationships. The word ironic here brings out how the whole purpose of technology has been defeated. The idea was communication would be improved, but that is not what is happening. And to explain further, you can use a transitional sentence. This will connect your ideas to the next sentence. You can simply say, I shall elaborate this in the following paragraphs. Now, paragraph 2, this is your first question or the first key point. Let's analyze this. This is further divided into topic sentence, explanation, the result, or example. Now, let us look at the first sentence. Technology has led to the birth of social media and has directly affected personal relationships. So you've got two key points here, birth of social media and the effect it has had on personal relationships. Naturally, you have to explain this further, you have to elaborate. So the following lines, people have large groups of acquaintances, also called network, that was born out of social media interaction but have fewer friends that they can rely on otherwise. So the writer here is giving of the idea that social media has led indeed to bigger groups of people, but they might not necessarily be there for effective communication. The humanistic aspect has been taken out, and that is what the focus is here. And how this has affected the personal relationships, that particular line that comes in your result. Technology thus has taken away people's choice of face-to-face interaction. This indicates that talking to somebody face-to-face and sharing opinions or feelings is not the same as talking to somebody online using social media apps and things like that, because you never know what a person really is on the other side. So that is the hint that is being given here, and that is the line that has been taken from your topic sentence. Now, of course, you have to give examples of this. So one good example is to pick up something that is very, very prevalent and very, very much in usage, and that is, for example, here it says, on Facebook and other social media, people can have as many followers based on common interests but zero personal interaction, and this often results in cyber crime. So again, your result is again further expanded into the example. Naturally, there have been instances of people falling victim to or becoming very, very susceptible to online crime, and that is basically where young people are lured for the purposes of money or for other purposes. So you could give those as examples, bring out the negative side of it. Now let's move on to the next paragraph. Paragraph 3 talks about the second question. Let's have a look. Again, you have your topic, sentence, explanation, result, and example. Now, I personally believe that this is a bad practice. This is one way of saying it, where you are hinting that it is a bad practice. Of course, when it comes to explanation, you will be further explaining and saying why you believe that it is a bad practice. As in this case, the writer says, people have often found more attached to the devices than the people in their lives. So, elaborating upon the bad practice, since the entire essay was about communication and how technology has actually hampered communication, this is one particular take that you can give. And to elaborate further, you can talk about the result of this and say that as a result, they lose important social skills as well as emotional contact with their family. As an example, it is stated that in the US, 45% of the people were found to be suffering from some form of social anxiety as a result of being away from human interaction for a long time and constantly on their devices. So again, your example must be in relation to the previous sentence, in relation to the previous idea that you have actually mentioned here. So if you give statistics and things like that, that will really help. In case you cannot remember how to put across statistics, then pick up the most simplest example, something that is personal to you, something that you have observed, and explain that. Next is your paragraph 4, which is your conclusion. In the conclusion, make sure you summarize all the information and add a suggestion or prediction. In this case, the sentence is in a nutshell. Now, this is a very good way to start a particular line, especially to start a concluding line. You could also say in conclusion or to sum up. These are some of the other phrases. In a nutshell is a good expression to use. You will get score in vocabulary. So reading further, you can say people are becoming lonely and depressed besides losing social interaction, and this is affecting their relationships with other people. So the ultimate message that you're trying to bring out here is that the very reason for which technology was invented, and that is communication, that very reason is ceasing to exist. Now, the suggestion given here is it is suggested that people should spend less time on their devices and more with their loved ones. Again, a reminder that do not use examples when it comes to conclusion. It should always be the summing up of everything and the ultimate message that you're trying to deliver. Essay practices. You've been given 2 essays for practice. Both of them are based on what you think and opinion. So the first one is, some people think that exercise is the key to health, while others feel that having a balanced diet is more important. Discuss both sides and give your opinion. Do you think the customer should avoid overpacked products, or is it the responsibility of the producer to avoid extra packaging of products? Give your views or any relevant examples with your own experience. So you could use both these essays to enhance your thinking capability. Remember, opinion-based essays are asking for your opinion, but that sometimes can get extended and expanded. So don't go into the danger of doing that. I would suggest stick to the structure, extremely important. Jot down your points properly, pick out all the keywords here and elaborate only that. If you're picking out 2 or 3 keywords, think of one sentence each and how you can combine them using good linking words and phrases. Let us look at some strategies to do the essay writing correctly. You can use this in your essay practice. First, analyze the task thoroughly. Identify the keywords. This again will be found in your topic itself. Write them down, try to brainstorm. A certain specific aspects of the topic, there might be certain topics where you are asked to only give a certain type of opinion, so be very careful. Understand the prompt very clearly. To do the brainstorming and to generate ideas and develop your structure, you can use the erasable noteboard booklet. You can make notes here. You can outline those notes and you can use those outline notes to actually present your thoughts and ideas. Make sure that when you are writing down your thoughts and ideas, you are also including relevant examples so that when you are typing the actual task, you don't actually look or think and waste time as to what example would be perfect for any particular point that you've given. Most importantly, ensure that you are covering all aspects of the question. Your essay should be properly organized. By organization, I mean proper paragraphing structure. Under each paragraph, the kind of sentences that are to be used, and make sure that those sentences are properly connected to each other. Once the 20 minutes are up, the screen will stop responding. So make sure that you keep your eye on the time. Timing is very important in PTE. There are often some common errors that students make while doing the essay writing, and they are: 1. Not understanding the topic. Now, as I mentioned earlier, break down your topic completely, take down points. If you don't do that, you will completely go off topic. Sometimes students pick up one particular word and just harp on and on about that particular idea and forget about the rest. You will lose your points in structure and coherence. Next, not being able to identify or elaborate ideas. At times, students get stuck on one particular idea and they don't know how this idea is prevalent in other aspects or scenarios, and therefore they get stuck and they cannot move ahead. Next, at times in their enthusiasm to prove their point, students often use irrelevant points and examples, and that again will cause you to lose your score. You must never use casual or informal language in the essay writing test, any essay writing test, and more so in the PTE essay writing test. Language like hey, hi, what's up. These kind of words must be completely avoided. Next, using incorrect grammatical structures. This basically means not writing proper sentences and most importantly not following the subject plus verb agreement. Next, making spelling errors. This is the most common error. Even the best of people sometimes falter. It could be something very simple as THEIR being written as THIER, or receive and receive. Simple words where it is easily interchangeable. So make sure that this particular thing is not there. Using incorrect punctuation. Some students tend to use hyphens or semicolons without thinking. So that will again pose another problem. That is a major grammatical error that you must avoid. Writing abbreviations or contracted forms. This again is an issue. If you write GOVT dot instead of the whole word government, you will be penalized. If you write can't, CAN apostrophe T, instead of writing cannot or don't, these words are contracted forms of words. If you write them, you will definitely be penalized. You will lose scores. Again, as I mentioned earlier, in terms of grammatical structures, not maintaining the subject-verb agreement. For example, he like me instead of saying he likes me. Or she go there instead of saying she goes there. These are minor errors when you're listening, but actually they are major errors when it comes to scoring. Also, not using proper coordinating conjunctions or linking phrases to connect ideas. A lot of times and goes missing, or however, although, but. These are all coordinating conjunctions and linking phrases that connect your sentences and bring out the proper meaning, whether it is a contrasting meaning or it is a meaning that indicates including ideas. These are some basic things and basic areas where you can lose scores of marks, and these are some common errors that students must definitely correct. Now here are some tips that you can use while doing the preparation for the test, and they are: number one, build your vocabulary. Writing is all about grammar and vocabulary. If you manage to sharpen those skills, then you can write on any topic under the sun. Next, like I said, hone your grammar skills. This means everything from tenses to articles, prepositions, nouns, adjectives, adverbs, everything must be in the correct form. Third and very important, master the sentence formation. Again, students often tend to write or miss out on simple words or coordinating conjunctions and things like that. And is gone missing, or the or is gone missing. That affects the entire sentence formation. So work on your sentence formation and structure. In order to write better and remember better, in case you get any kind of topic, in case you're not familiar, it's always good to identify some functional words and phrases used on a regular basis and learn them up. Every time you write, see how you can include them in your writing. Next, read. Read voraciously. Read books, read magazines, read newspapers. All of these things will definitely enhance your vocabulary. You can always start off with short novels or short stories, or pick up something that is within your comfort zone and start to expand. Pick out words and phrases from there, take a note of them, check the dictionary, see in what context they are used. Practice verbs, tenses, adjectives, prepositions, pronouns and conjunctions. These are very common and very basic grammar requirements, and often people falter if they miss out on any one of them. Practice linking phrases that denote how to introduce or conclude an idea, like I would like to begin with, or in conclusion. Introduce or begin an idea. Next, highlight differences or similarities. Here you can talk about similarly, or use words like that, similarly. If you're highlighting any differences, you could say in contrast, or opposite to what has been said, or as opposed to. If you're talking about a continuity or change in a topic, again, continuity, you could say that eventually, gradually, further. If you're talking about a change, then you can mention phrases like there was a transformation, or a slight change was detected, or there was a noticeable improvement. These kind of words and phrases will definitely give you an edge in terms of vocabulary. Next, practice within the word and time limit. PT is completely timed, especially essay writing. In 20 minutes, you have to do so much. So make sure you practice within the word and time limit. You can always start off by writing on topics that you feel comfortable with, but then gradually expand to different subjects, because you never know what is coming for the test. When doing so, again, make sure you use correct punctuation and spelling. Learn the usage of full stops, exclamation marks, question marks, especially colon, semicolon, hyphen, etc. Students are often found using ellipses. Ellipses are nothing but 3 dots that you put. That indicates that there's something else that comes after that particular sentence. But if you do that in the middle of the test, this will affect your entire presentation. So be very careful. Once more, practice writing with coherence. That is basically connecting your ideas properly, and ensure that you conclude properly. A good essay always begins with a good introduction and ends with a good conclusion. That is the end of this particular explanation. All the best with your essay practice.